Hey, everybody, welcome back to Mornings with Loretta, and I'm so excited about my next guest. So, according to a recent study, only 31% of workers are in the office full time. Wow, 31%. So leaders must adapt their strategies and policies to foster optimal productivity. And we have leadership expert, recruiting expert Jennifer with us today to talk about these findings and also offer some really amazing tips to help all of us feel like we're included and we're seen and we are heard. So Jennifer, welcome to Mornings with Loretta.
Thank you. So happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
And so she's also the author of this amazing book. I was gonna try to, just go in for a quick read. My producer already read it. They fell in love with it. But this is a book that you think you're gonna read. No, you got to do the work. I love this book. I'm telling you, I love this book. I love this book.
Oh,
So, what was the inspiration? Let's start there with the book, Leading for Impact. What was
you
the
know,
inspiration?
the inspiration was all the people I've worked with over the past years and really wanting to put something positive out there and knowing that I had a voice and I needed to use my voice for something helpful. And I don't think there's a lot of professional development that goes on as much as when I was coming through in the workforce. So I wanted to be that person.
I love how you come and you're known for your life on life ministry work too. And I love
Mhm.
how that's sprinkled throughout this book. So you can tell where you put your faith and your hope in. And I love that.
Yes.
That's one of the reason I have to take time to do this book, not just read this book. I have to do this book, Jennifer. So let's just jump into these questions that I
Okay.
have for you. How can leaders effectively balance the need for employee flexibility and the necessity of maintaining productivity and collaboration in remote work environments?
That is a great question. And that's what we're all looking for wanting the answer to. And I think there's three things. One is communication, both ways, saying we are trying something new and we need to keep the dialogue open and talk about what's working and what's not working constantly so that we can both adapt. The other thing is having metrics in place, really good metrics, so that you don't feel like performance is dropping. And they have to be metrics that both the employer and the employee understand and are committed to. So that's important as well. And then it's the people side. And I don't want to put them in any order because the people are important with remote workers. One of the things that we saw also positively correlate with greater remote working is the feeling of being disengaged. So it's finding a way to engage with your employees. That is very, very critical.
I agree with all that. And I'm going to have to invite you back because I don't want to just give a 90-second commercial on this.
Right,
These
right.
are topics we really do need to talk about. And there's a chapter in your book about the lead. It's kind of like the leader within. We always want to
Mm.
look outside when we talk about leadership, what the leader is doing, how they are building and hopefully engaging. But you also have to work on yourself as a
Yes.
leader. We don't hear about their continuous leadership development, their personal development, professional development. So, how important is that aspect as a leader when we're leading teams that are also hybrid, remote, and in the office?
I want to put you in my pocket and carry you around because everything you're saying is so relevant. This is one of the most critical pieces. You can't expect to lead people if you yourself are not growing in your development and understanding what's driving you. On the same side, remembering each employee is a leader in themselves too. So if you need something as an employee, you need to express that. You need to lead in the charge of taking ownership of your advancement as well.
Absolutely. So, can we talk about as business owners too, as entrepreneurs? I lead a monthly networking group called Women on the Move Reimagine, Jennifer. And we were doing the same model, having a speaker come, having lunch, and doing a little network. And now I concentrate more on mastermind and leadership development, professional development, because what I've seen, and I don't know, well, I want to hear your opinion too, as entrepreneurs, we can get the wealth, we can build a company, but are we really, if we're not building ourselves, how sustainable and scalable is it if we're the same but our business has grown? Or is there even a
I
difference?
think there is a difference, and I think you hit on something really important. I can't wait to read your book. You need to write a book on all of this. It's very important. If we don't invest in ourselves, our journey becomes stale and stagnant, and we're not up to the relevant things. We don't see the changes happening in the marketplace or in our employees. So it's very important for us to continue to be out there. I love the mastermind groups. You have to challenge yourself so that you can take others farther as well.
Okay. I love that. So let me ask you this. With the shift towards more remote work, I know several people who are doing, they didn't go back after COVID. They were still remote employees. So how can leaders ensure that their teams remain connected and engaged, fostering a sense of belonging and camaraderie? Because you can't go have those conversations at somebody's cubicle. You can't have it over the water fountain cooler. So how can we make sure they're feeling engaged and a part of the team at large?
I think it's critical to reassess your values with the team and really work around those values and be very intentional about reaching out. Like we talked about at the start of this, engagement is important. So managers really now have to take the time, more intentional time to do the reach outs and schedule just small check-ins and not just work wise, but how are you doing? How is this working for you? And what's going on and what's important to you outside of work. Those are conversations that are critical, and you can have lunch, it's just virtual. And just think about what drives each employee and work toward that.
So that's a great point. What drives each? So how do you find out? That means you got to spend time with them, right?
You
Not a quick 101 where you just,
That's true.
I want to know, how can we effectively have one-on-one conversations? Because
Mhm.
that's the thing in corporate. They love saying, I'm going to put a whole lot of these one-on-one schedules on, but how effective is it? How impactful is a one-on-one? And how do we make them more impactful?
Yeah. I think that the time you spend as a leader putting into that 101 is really the foundation. You have to take it seriously and you have to go in with intention and purpose. And I agree with you. There are a lot of leaders who schedule it, but they just jump into the meeting because that's what we were able to do before when we were engaging on a daily basis and seeing these people. Now it really does need more preparation and thought. And I actually opened up a review this past week, and this person really thanked me. I know his faith is very important to him, and I know that his word theme this year is prosperity. So I went and I pulled out a Bible verse for him, and that's where we started on prosperity in the book of Psalms, which he also liked. And that just engaged him from the get-go. He said, I don't care what we say from here. You did something for me that is very meaningful because you understand that that is the most important thing in my life.
Because one thing I found by reading, and I like how you acknowledge that's what you're doing. Ministry is first for you. But I do read other books on leadership, and they will use the biblical principles, but they'll call them leadership strategies or
Yes.
business strategies. And so when people say, "Well, I don't want to talk about the Bible," I'm not into that. I'm like, "But you just read this book, and everything in that book was a biblical principle. They just rephrased it and called it a
Right.
business strategy." So when people tell me that, Loretta, don't make it religious, I'm like, I'm not a religious person, number one, so I can't, but I am very spiritual. So I love how you have
Yes.
those little nuggets of quotes in here and Bible verses, and it's done so beautifully that people, even if that's not who they are at that point, they're not offended because it is. And you use the Proverbs and the Psalms. So
Mm.
I love that. Oh my goodness, time is just flying out of here. Okay. I got one more question. It's like I met a new best friend and we're just
I
talking about
I
leadership.
agree. I know. I was trying to be very brief in my answers because I know we don't have time, but it's so lovely to sit with you.
Okay. So do you have any, just a quick 1, 2, 3 to help leaders and those that they're leading feel more comfortable and feel as if they really can engage more deeply than just on the surface to get to know each other?
I think that having a team gathering where you play trivia and you pull some trivia questions, even if those conversation questions, you think we should be able to do it ourselves, but it breaks the ice. And you just sit around and say, we're just going to have a happy hour, or we're going to pretend we're camping, and everyone bring their flannels and their candles and s'mores, and you just play a game. And within that game, the stories come out. But be curious and be interested in each person, because each person has a unique story that is beautiful and wonderful, and it would be great for the whole team to hear it.
And then you have this calmness in your demeanor. Your aura is so peaceful and inviting that I just feel like people all just tell you their deepest secrets and darkest secrets. So, and be able to lead and guide people on becoming stronger leaders, not necessarily a better leader, but just be strong and impactful, because I believe being impactful is way more important than being successful, because you can be successful and nobody wants to be on your team. People don't want to come to work. They want to quit their job, but they need their job. And then you're just rocking around like you're the best leader. So what is it? I just want to go back to that part, how important it is to develop from within, to lead from within to yourself. Would you follow you? Ooh,
Right.
would you follow you? What kind of questions should we be asking as leaders to be effective?
I think, to your point, different people define success in a different way. So I think it's really getting back to, what is your purpose? What is your purpose in leadership? Because whatever your purpose is, it's going to be evident to everyone around you. And if that purpose is just for yourself, for the money, for the advancement, everyone's going to see it. But if that purpose captures the people around you and the teams around you, and it's more of a we, and what you're going to pour into others as well, that will become evident. So that intentional purpose is not something you can hide. It is something that is there before you and you live out.
I love the one where you used to talk about lifting others, and that's where I am now. And I just want to hang out there. I just want to hang out with lifting others, because as a leader, because we have to go to so many other meetings where we're not even talking to our staff or our team to say how wonderful we are. We're proving that we're the best by our numbers, and we just want to go, go, go. And it's about me, because I'm the leader, and so I'm in the meetings. But I just want leaders to understand it's a different tactic. It should be a different conversation when you're talking to your team, as is when you're talking to people who are at the same level trying to grow the company, make more money. Because people, it is so important for people, because people, as they say, Jennifer, people don't leave companies, they leave people. Every job I resigned from, it wasn't because I didn't like my job. It was because somebody made my life totally miserable, or there was no integrity. So why do you think people leave good companies? And then I'll let you go.
I don't want to go. I want to sit with you. I think you hit it spot on. And we've heard, so many surveys talking about that. People leave because of the people. And it's really creating a safe place where everyone can come to the table. We talked about faith. Not everyone is of faith in my team. One person is big on mindfulness. He's very spiritual, and we connect at that level too. So it's creating a space for everyone to come to the table, and just remember that we have to help each other get there, because if we can connect with each other, we can go much farther.
Absolutely. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to end this. I said that 2 minutes ago, but how can they find your book? How can they purchase your book? And how can they find you? And are you available to go to companies and look at what they're currently doing to help them get where they really want to be as an effective leader? Can you tell us how to find you?
Yes. Well, I'm on LinkedIn, as the rest of the world is there, Jennifer Schielke. My book is on Amazon and Target, and just go online, type in Leading for Impact, and let me know if I don't pop up. And I work for Summit Group Solutions, and we are actually an IT staffing firm, but my heart is consulting. So I love connecting with people. I love coming in, and, I've been meeting with CEO groups to help myself in development. And I'm more than happy to just sit and talk with people and see where their needs are as well.
Beautiful. I wish I could Skype you into our monthly Women on the Move. I got to figure that out, because I would love for the women to have a conversation with you. And I know we got go, and I am gonna go. I'm talking like when I was growing, my mom always said, "We're leaving, we're leaving." We never left, right? So nobody moves. But this quote by Abraham Lincoln, I never heard it before, but it says, "I am successful today because I had a friend who believed in me, and I didn't have the heart to let them down."
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's profound. That's how I feel about my sons. That's why I can't quit, because they believe in me and I don't want to let them down. So you got to find that thing, that person or that thing. Jennifer, thank you so much. Thank you for all you do. And I can't wait for us to have another conversation on Mornings with Loretta.
Likewise. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So she has to leave, and I really enjoyed that conversation. Even as a host, I was enjoying that conversation, and I hope that you did too. And we're gonna have more of those conversations, because leadership, impact, effectiveness, that's where the growth comes in. And when we grow as leaders and as people with those characteristics, I believe that the money and the wealth will follow. So here we go. We got to leave you. I got to leave you. So think positive, dream big dreams, help someone along the way. And guess what? I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.